Welcome to the Daily Current Affairs by CivicCentre IAS, where we try to discuss the important articles from the Hindu, the Indian Express, and the PIB from the UPSC CSC prelims perspective. Displayed are the list of articles which we are going to discuss in today's video. The first article of the day says that the Assam government will prepare a roadmap to implement the recommendations of the Justice Biplab Kumar Sharma Committee on Clause 6 of the Assam Accord by October 25th, according to the Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, as the state government made the committee's report public. In this context, let us talk about the Assam Accord and also we'll see what Clause 6 is. See, the Assam Accord was signed in the year 1985 of August to mark the end of a violent 6-year agitation to eject illegal foreigners from the state. Know that it was a tripartite accord signed between the Government of India, the state government of Assam and the leaders of the Assam movement in the year 1985. Significantly, the Home Ministry was the nodal ministry for the implementation of the accord. Then, in the year 1986, a new department was set up in the government of Assam called the Implementation of the Assam Accord Department to implement the various clauses of the Memorandum of Settlement. Now, if we have to look at the main provisions of the Assam Accord, firstly, detection, deletion and deportation of illegal immigrants who entered Assam after 25th March of 1971. Secondly, safeguarding the political, social and cultural rights of the Assamese people. Thirdly, providing constitutional, legislative and administrative safeguards to protect and preserve the cultural, social and linguistic identity and heritage of the Assamese people. And lastly, accelerating the economic development of Assam. Now, if we have to talk specifically about the Clause 6 of the Accord, it says that the constitutional, legislative and the administrative safeguards as may be appropriate shall be provided to protect, preserve and promote the cultural, social, linguistic identity and heritage of the Assamese people. The next article says that the United Nations approaching its 80th anniversary next year, the Group 4 countries which are the India, Brazil, Germany and Japan seeking permanent membership and reform of the United Nations Security Council on Thursday called for the urgent reform of the world body. Other plurilateral groupings such as the L69 and C10 also echoed these calls. In this context, let us talk about the United Nations Security Council, in short called the UNSC. See, the UNSC is one of the 5 principal organs of the United Nations responsible for maintaining international peace and security. Know that UNSC resolutions are binding on all member states. Established on January 17th of 1946, the UNSC includes 5 permanent members which are the United Nations, the Russian Federation, the United Kingdom, China and France who hold veto power, and 10 elected non-permanent members elected for 2-year terms by the General Assembly. Furthermore, in situations that may cause a threat to the peace and security, a UNSC's first action is to recommend the parties involved try to reach an agreement by peaceful means. Notably, the Council may issue ceasefire directives, deploy peacekeeping forces, or take other measures such as imposing economic sanctions, trade embargoes, or authorizing military action. Also, the Security Council fosters negotiations, imposes sanctions, and authorizes the use of force, including the deployment of the peacekeeping missions. Now, moving on to talk about G4. See, the G4 or the Group of 4 is an international alliance comprising of Brazil, Germany, India, and Japan. Know that these countries seek permanent seats on the United Nations Security Council to reflect their growing influence on the global stage. Furthermore, they support each other's bids for these positions, emphasizing the need for reforms that represent current geopolitical landscape which has changed significantly since the UNSC was established after the World War II. The third article of the day says that the Union Home Ministry on Thursday extended the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in the parts of Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh for another 6 months. In this context, let us talk about the Armed Forces Special Powers Act of 1958. See, it extends to the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland and Tripura. Know that the governor, administrator of the central government may declare a state or part of it as a disturbed area by notification if the region is in a disturbed or dangerous condition requiring the use of armed forces to assist the civil powers. Then, if we have to talk about the special powers of the armed forces, see, in a disturbed area, any commissioned officer, warrant officer, non-commissioned officer or equivalent can firstly fire upon or use force against anyone acting in contravention of the law after due warning to maintain public order. Secondly, destroy armed positions, training camps, or shelters used by gangs or absconders. Thirdly, arrest individuals suspected of committing or planning to commit cognizable offences and use the necessary force to do so. Lastly, enter the premises to arrest persons or seize arms, ammunition, or stolen property with necessary force. Furthermore, any person arrested under this act must be handed over to the nearest police station with a report of the circumstances of the arrest. Notably, no legal proceedings can be initiated against any person acting under this act without prior sanction from the central government. The next article says that after India became the third country outside Africa to report a fast-spreading type of Mpox infection, the Union Health Ministry on Thursday wrote to the states and the UTs to keep those with symptoms in isolation and put in place strict infection prevention and control measures. In this context, let us talk about Mpox. See, Mpox, previously known as the monkeypox, is a zoonotic viral disease with symptoms similar to smallpox, though less severe. Know that it typically resolves on its own within 2 to 4 weeks. Notably, severe cases are more common in children and depend on the factors such as virus exposure, patient health, and complications. If we have to talk about its transmission, it spreads through prolonged close contact with an infected person or direct contact with body fluids, lesion material, or contaminated items like clothing or linens. Furthermore, there are 3 stages to it, which are incubation, prodrome, and rash. Firstly, the incubation period for Mpox, which is the time from the infection to the onset of the symptoms, typically ranges from 6 to 13 days, but can extend up to 5 to 21 days. Know that the individuals are not contagious during this period. Then, the prodrome phase is characterized by symptoms including the fever, headache, muscle and body aches, malaise, chills, sore throat, and cough. Lastly, the skin involvement, which features lesions that develop simultaneously and evolve together on affected body parts. Know that these lesions progress through 4 stages, which are macular, papular, vesicular, and pustular. Then, moving on to talk about its prevention. See, it is primarily focused on raising awareness about risk factors and educating people on reducing the exposure to the virus. Some of the other key preventive measures include avoiding contact with materials that have been in contact with infected individuals, isolating infected patients from others, practicing good hygiene such as washing hands with soap and water or using alcohol-based hand sanitizers, especially after contact with infected animals or humans. Next, using appropriate personal protective equipment when caring for patients. And lastly, properly containing and disposing of contaminated waste under biomedical waste management guidelines for infectious waste. The next article says that the centre may increase the price of ethanol for the 2024-25 season and the minimum selling price of sugar according to the Union Food Minister on Thursday. In this context, let us talk about ethanol. See, ethanol, also known as ethyl alcohol, is a biofuel produced from various sources such as sugarcane, corn, rice, wheat, and biomass. Know that the production process involves the fermentation of sugars by yeast or via petrochemical processes such as ethylene hydration. Notably, ethanol is 99.9% pure alcohol that can be blended with petrol to create a cleaner fuel alternative. Now moving on to look at its applications. See, ethanol is used as a renewable and sustainable biofuel alternative to gasoline in the transportation sector. Furthermore, it can be blended with petrol in various proportions such as E10 and E20. Significantly, the Indian government has implemented the ethanol blending program to promote the use of ethanol as a renewable fuel. Know that the program aims to blend ethanol with petrol to reduce the country's dependence on imported crude oil, cut carbon emissions, and boost farmers' income. Additionally, ethanol blends help reduce greenhouse gas emissions and air pollutants, contributing to the cleaner air and mitigating climate change. Notably in India, the nodal department for the promotion of fuel-grade ethanol producing distilleries is the Department of Food and Public Distribution. The next article says that 3 new superconductors installed at the premier scientific institutions in Delhi, Pune and Kolkata to boost the research in the fields of astronomy, medicine and high-energy physics were on Thursday dedicated to the nation by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In this context, let us talk about the National Supercomputing Mission. See, the NSM initiated by India aims to build a supercomputing infrastructure that caters to the increasing computational demands of the academia, research institutions, MSMEs and startups. Know that it is a joint effort of the Department of Science and Technology and the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, implemented by the Centre for Development of Advanced Computing and the Indian Institute of Science. So, what are the objectives of the mission? Firstly, NSM plans to install supercomputers in academic and R&D institutions, enabling high-end research and development in domains such as climate modeling, weather prediction, aerospace, computational biology, and national security. Secondly, the mission aspires to make India a global leader in supercomputing by providing state-of-the-art infrastructure to researchers. Thirdly, minimizing duplication of supercomputing resources by building a coordinated framework across the country. Lastly, to achieve self-reliance in the development of a high-performance computing technology, including indigenous innovations like a Rudra server platform and Trinetra high-speed interconnects. Then, if you have to look at the key installations, see, the mission follows a buy-to-build approach with initial systems being imported and progressively transitioning towards the indigenous assembly. Notably, the first indigenously assembled supercomputer, Param Shivai, was installed at IIT BHU in Varanasi. As of March 2023, 24.83 petaflops of computing power has been commissioned across several institutions with plans to increase this to 66 PF. What about the achievements under the mission? See, the mission has successfully trained over 17,500 personnel in HPC. Significantly, more than 5,930 expert users across 100 institutions regularly use the supercomputing facilities. Furthermore, know that the NSM supports applications in a wide range of areas, including seismic analysis, disaster simulations, nanomaterials, and big data analytics. The next article says that the department-related parliamentary standing committees for 2024-25 were constituted on Thursday with the Congress members chairing 4 committees, including the External Affairs. In this context, let us talk about the standing committees. See, a parliamentary committee is a committee of members of parliament who are elected or appointed by amongst the members of the House or nominated by the Speaker or Chairman. Know that the concept of parliamentary committees originated in the British Parliament. Furthermore, these committees operate under the direction of the Speaker of Lok Sabha or the Chairman of Rajya Sabha and present their findings and recommendations to the respective houses. Notably, they draw their authority from Article 105, which deals with the privileges of MPs, and Article 118, which gives the Parliament authority to make rules to regulate its procedure and conduct of business. Then, by their nature, the parliamentary committees in India are of 2 kinds: standing committees and ad hoc committees. So, the standing committees are the permanent committees that are constituted by the Parliament to deal with specific areas of public policy or administration. Know that these committees are constituted at the beginning of each session of Parliament and continue until the end of the session. Notably, the financial committees, DRSCs and other committees come under the category of standing committees. Now, talking about the department-related standing committees, see, there are 24 department-related parliamentary standing committees and 16 of them fall under the ambit of Lok Sabha and are chaired by Lok Sabha MPs, while 8 are under the Rajya Sabha. Furthermore, each of these committees consists of 31 members, 21 from Lok Sabha and 10 from Rajya Sabha, to be nominated by Speaker, Lok Sabha and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha respectively. Know that the term of the office of these committees does not exceed 1 year. The last article is from the PIB, which says that the Bharat 6G Alliance today presented a series of in-depth action plans for 6G technology development during a high-level interaction in Bengaluru with the Minister of Communications and the Secretary of Telecom. In this context, let us talk about the Bharat 6G Alliance. See, the Bharat 6G Alliance is a collaborative platform bringing together academia, industry and government to build a comprehensive 6G ecosystem in India. Significantly, the alliance focuses on research, development and standardization of 6G technology with the goal of making India a global leader in emerging 6G landscape. Furthermore, on March 23rd of 2023, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi unveiled India's Bharat 6G vision, aiming for the country to take a leading role in the design, development and implementation of 6G technology by 2030. Notably, the Bharat 6G vision is built on 3 core principles, which are affordability, sustainability and ubiquity. Remember that it seeks to position India as a global leader in delivering innovative and cost-effective telecom solutions that benefit the society. So, in this video, we have discussed about 8 articles in total from the Hindu, the Indian Express and the PIB. We'll be back again with another video tomorrow. Thank you.